Welcome back, or welcome, to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard Podcast. Today we're going to explore why your excuses always manifest. Think about it. If there's one kind of imaginal act that always comes true, it's your excuses. I can't, Mr. 20, because... You ever notice that one comes true and stays true? It always does. We're going to dive into that today. We're going to give you some alternatives, some suggestions, an invitation to dive deeper. But first, I want to thank you for listening. If you got gold today, leave a comment. Send me an email, leave a comment. Share if you care. Dive deeper if you dare. Let's dive in. See ya. God, I just got off the phone. Oh, the iPad. I so rarely talk on the phone. But I just got off the iPad, the Messenger doohickey thing, with a Dream Driven Day member, and we were exploring something really cool. You manifest your excuses. That's it. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020. Have you noticed this is true? You manifest your excuses. I can't because I don't have any money. I can't because I don't have any time. I can't because I can't make a decision. I can't because I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. That's the big one, right, by the way. I can't because I'm afraid I'm going to be wrong and I'm going to feel like shit and everyone's going to make fun of me. And I'm going to live under a bridge broke and smelly and then die. And no one will come to my funeral because I made the wrong decision. You always manifest your excuses because you believe your excuses are real. Why would you continue to believe that it's hard for you to spend money, that you don't have time? Why would you continue to imagine he's going to be pissed if I stay the same? He's already pissed. He's really not pissed at you. We've talked about this, the whole thing of people get married to get mad at each other. How crazy is that? I got married to make love. And we continue to this day to create the most amazing things. You've seen our videos. I love the constant compliments, by the way. I really do. We did that manifesting love call because we want you guys to get what we got. And you won't get what we got as long as you make up excuses. Here's a great one, right? You tend to fall in love, get married, and the average couple falls out of love 14 and a half months later. There's scientific data that proves that, Mr. 20. All right. So your excuse is that there's data? Your excuse is that you're average? What's your excuse? See, I'm into this thing called excellence. Because there are these rare people that walk away from things like PTSD, scoliosis, that move around the world. Yeah, I'm bragging a little bit. I want you to brag. You ever notice how easy people will share their excuses with each other? Yeah, it's tough for the working man. That's a nice way of saying I imagine shit about money. Oh, it's tough for the working man. Yeah, keep imagining shit about money. Let that be your excuse. You see, there's actually a few excuses there. You're actually cursing the working man. It's tough for the working man. God, I look at the Apple News, and it's like, well, since the whole loogie thing has pretty much taken a back seat, now we're going to focus on the doom of the economy. There's always doom. There's always going to be an excuse. You see, I grew up listening to the adults talking, and when I was a little boy, you know what the excuse was? Jimmy Carter. He was the U.S. president, peanut farmer. And then you know what the excuse was? Ronald Wilson Reagan. Except for some people, Reagan was an excuse. Reagan appeared to be a reason for boom time, and so boom time happened for some people. So you can blame the politicians all you want. You can use them for your excuse, because you always manifest your excuses. By the way, it's 4 minutes in. My name is Mr. 2020. I'm going to invite you to join us in ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. I'm also going to suggest that you pick up PearlPowerPack.com. If you haven't done the first, do the first. Right? Do the first now, manifestingmasterycourse.com. If you've done the first, you realize how much we love the Pearl of Great Price, you might want to pick up pearlpowerpack.com. Anyway, go check them both out. Crass commercial over. See, Mr. 20, I've listened to you, but you're always promoting your stuff. Rightio. Right? That's like saying, you know what, I'd look at that pretty girl, but she's always letting me know she's pretty. See, she dresses up nice. She takes a bath once in a while. Honest to God. We live in a culture today that was just like the one 40 years ago. I'm 56. When I was 16, you know what people were doing? Excuses. Right? Finding ways to feel victimized. Maybe we're doing it better today, faster. I don't know. It's just a different set of bullshit. The thing is, when you email me and you tell me your excuse, I don't buy it. I buy the pearl. In pearlpowerpack.com, we did 3 live calls. You know why? Because I had to vote. I chose not to vote. I chose to make money instead. I chose to have impact in the world instead. See, it's pretty cool when you imagine up a life where you can do both. Right? Imagine how much fun that is. Because most people imagine money comes from trading joy for suffering. I'll suffer so I can make money, so because you're a lazy ass. You know, that's a lot of marriages right there, right? How much fun is that? On the other hand, I imagine Victoria and I making great money while having amazing impact. And we do it from our lovely little mud brick mansion here in Melbourne, Australia. See, what are you imagining up? Are you imagining up excuses? Because, you see, I moved around the world with a suitcase and a travel bag and a tiny little laptop. That was it. I moved around the world like that because I met her and I had a dream. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have one out of 2 things. Excuses or attitude. You notice how much I love the attitude of Abdullah. Because without that, see, Ab was a black man in the 40s and the 50s, and he'd go to the opera. He'd go buy his own tickets. He'd go sit where he wanted to sit. He lived in luxury. He didn't settle. He chose to soar. See, he could have used the color of his skin or the fact that he was a Jew. Right? He could have used all kinds of things to imagine being discriminated against. Instead, he imagined something else. Your excuses always manifest. Let this be the most important bit that you ever get from us. And then dive deeper if you choose to. Otherwise, here's what I want you to do. Every single day when you wake up, I want you to notice, what are your excuses? What are your excuses? I mean, hey, if you made $100 yesterday, that means you're probably going to make $100 today. There's an excuse. What if you found a way to 10x your income? If you doubled your income and worked half the time and doubled your income and worked half the time, how would you buy peanut butter differently? We've explored that as an imaginal act. And if you don't buy peanut butter, what do you buy on a regular basis? What bill do you pay on a regular basis that you would pay differently if you doubled your income and worked half the time? See, this requires a little bit of play. It doesn't require any work. It requires play, exploration, stretching, and growing. If you got gold, this is going to be my outro. First suggestion, manifestingmasterycourse.com. And that is the 90-day adventure. It's $97. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes total out of your day. What excuses are you making up, gang? What excuses are you making up right now? Notice them and decide that's the last time I'm going to use that excuse. Think about it. An excuse becomes like your best friend. When's the last time you're going to take a walk with that? Imagine that. Every place you walk, you take your excuse with you. Come on, excuse. Let's go. Next. pearlpowerpack.com. That's the ultimate excuse eliminator. I should actually call it that. Maybe I should just put together a little product on the excuse eliminator. In Pearl Power Pack, you get about 5 hours worth of live calls recorded. Because those are the calls where we dove deep into the Pearl. I thought it was going to be 1 call. Turned out to be 3 calls, about 90 minutes each. pearlpowerpack.com. There is so much goodness. We call it swearing, caring, and sharing. Because there's a lot of all 3 in there. pearlpowerpack.com. That's it, gang. Have a lovely day. And notice, hey, are you being driven today by your excuses? Because your excuses always manifest? Or have you chosen the path of excellence? Let me know. Have a great day. See ya.